Hey guys, after 2 years of waiting, gamers expected a revolutionary leap forward. Instead, they got what many are calling the most disappointing generation since the RTX 20 series. But is this criticism justified? Welcome back to Ataria News Channel. Today we are diving deep into one of the most controversial GPU launches in recent memory, Nvidia's RTX 50 series. Let's break down everything you need to know about Nvidia's latest offering and why it's causing such a stir in the gaming community. Nvidia unveiled the RTX 50 series at CES 2025, led by CEO Jensen Huang, with his trademark leather jacket and bold claims. The lineup includes the flagship RTX 5090, the RTX 5080, and the much anticipated RTX 5070. On paper, these cards promise significant improvements in ray tracing, AI powered features, and overall performance. NVIDIA heavily marketed features like enhanced DLSS4, improved AI workloads, and what they call transformative performance gains. But here's where things get interesting and controversial. NVIDIA's marketing focused heavily on AI and productivity features, with gaming performance taking a backseat. The shift in messaging should have been our first red flag that something was different about this generation. When reviews started dropping, the reality hit hard. IGN's review didn't pull punches, stating that the RTX 50 series cards have failed to deliver the kind of generational leaps you would expect after 2 years. The RTX 5070, in particular, became the poster child for disappointment. Let's talk numbers. The RTX 5070 comes with the same 12 GB memory buffer. That's zero improvement in VRAM after 2 years. In an era where games are becoming increasingly memory hungry, this feels like a step backward. The performance gains over the previous generation are modest at best, often falling short of the 20 to 30% improvements we've come to expect from the new GPU generations. And here's where it gets absolutely wild, and this is barely being talked about. Nvidia shipped defective chips to board partners that were missing ROPs. That's raster operations pipelines from the factory. Nvidia admitted that less than 0.5% of RTX 5090s and 5070 Ti GPUs have one fewer ROP than specified, causing a 4% performance hit. That 4% can make an RTX 5070 Ti perform at RTX 4070 Ti super levels, completely eliminating the reason you'd upgrade in the first place. And get this, they later had to amend their statement to admit the RTX 5080 was also affected. The most egregious issue, Nvidia's misleading marketing claims. The company suggested that the RTX 5070 could match RTX 5090 performance in certain scenarios, a claim that independent reviewers quickly debunked. In real world gaming, the performance delta between these cards is substantial, making such comparisons feel disingenuous. Then there's the elephant in the room, pricing. The RTX 5090 saw a $400 price increase over the RTX 4090, jumping from $1,599 to $1,999. That's a 25% price hike for what many considered incremental improvements. The RTX 5070, while maintaining similar pricing to its predecessor, offers questionable value when you factor in the minimal performance gains. The pricing strategy feels tone deaf, especially when gamers are already struggling with the high GPU costs. For many, the RTX 50 series represents the worst price to performance ratio in recent memory. You are paying premium prices for what feels like a refresh rather than a true next generation product. But wait, there's more. The RTX 50 series has broken one of PC gaming's most cherished principles, backwards compatibility. For decades, PC gaming has been held in high regard because you could play games from any era on modern hardware. Nvidia just shattered that tradition. The RTX 50 series lacks support for 32-bit PhysX, a technology Nvidia acquired with AGA back in 2008. This means classic games like Mirror's Edge from 2009 and Borderlands 2 from 2012, games that still run perfectly on modern PCs, now experience catastrophic frame rate drops into single digits. And why is that? Because the physics calculations are forced on the CPU instead of the GPU where they used to belong. This is particularly infuriating because 32-bit games were still extremely common during that era. Even though 64-bit CPUs existed since 2003, Microsoft didn't release consumer 64-bit Windows until Vista in 2006. Nvidia has now released the PhysX source code on GitHub. But cynically, this feels like they're dumping maintenance responsibility onto the community because they can't be bothered to support their own technology. Now let's talk about DLSS 4 and why it represents everything wrong with Nvidia's approach. First, let me explain why DLSS has always been snake oil, because this controversy goes back to 2018. When the RTX 20 series launched with hardware ray tracing, it was impressive and novel. But here's the catch: Nvidia also introduced upscaling technology to counterbalance the insane computational expense. From the beginning, ray tracing and upscaling were interlinked. If you wanted ray tracing in Cyberpunk 2077, you had to enable upscaling or your gameplay became a ridiculously pretty PowerPoint slideshow. What always bothered me about DLSS marketing was that it wasn't just for lower end GPUs. No, it was marketed for the top of the line $1,000 plus RTX 20 series flagship models to achieve graphical fidelity with all the bells and whistles. That was a warning sign that ray tracing was introduced prematurely and half baked. The graphics Nvidia was selling us on were beyond the card's actual capabilities. Fast forward to today, and nothing has changed, except Nvidia now charges double for the flagship RTX 5090. And guess what? It still doesn't do Cyberpunk 2077, the flagship ray tracing game, with full ray tracing at playable frame rates in native 4K. It does that only with DLSS enabled. DLSS 4 introduces multi frame generation, which can theoretically quadruple frame rates by generating multiple AI frames between each real rendered frame. The core issue: NVIDIA's marketing heavily relies on DLSS 4 performance numbers to justify the RTX 50 series existence. When reviewers look at raw performance without DLSS 4, the gains were underwhelming, about 27 to 32% improvement over previous generation, nowhere near the 2x performance claims. You're not getting more powerful hardware, you're getting better software tricks, and you are paying premium prices for AI generated frames rather than genuine rendering improvements. Despite the lukewarm reviews and criticism, here's the kicker: RTX 50 series cards are selling out everywhere. But here's what's really happening behind the scenes: scalper bots are snatching up GPUs before official sales even begin. Retailers are reporting extremely limited stock, and there are serious rumors that Nvidia is purposefully keeping stock low to create artificial demand. The secondary market tells the real story. These cards are selling way above MSRP, and retailers are bundling them with random warehouse inventory. PSUs, monitors, keyboards, mice, forcing you to pay over twice the GPU's cost for stuff you don't even want. It's gotten so bad that even RTX 40 series cards are still overpriced. And RTX 4070, that should cost $599, is selling for $800. While that same money gets you AMD's much more powerful RX 7900 XT. And here's the thing: compare this to Apple. They're also a trillion dollar company selling hardware to consumers, but they consistently have launch day stock available. How is it that Apple can manage supply chains but Nvidia can't? The answer is simple: Nvidia doesn't care. They are making massive profits from data center AI GPUs, and consumer sales are becoming a rounding error on their balance sheet. We are no longer the priority. By we, I mean the gamers. The tech review community has been remarkably unified in their criticism. Major outlets like IGN, Gamers Nexus, and Hardware Unboxed have all expressed disappointment. The common themes are clear: underwhelming performance gains, questionable value proposition, and a sense that Nvidia is taking their market dominance for granted. Many reviewers have called the RTX 50 series marketing deceitful, particularly around DLSS 4 performance claims. Some have jokingly referred to these cards as RTX 4090 Ti variants rather than true next generation products. The criticism centers on Nvidia's heavy reliance on software features to mask modest hardware improvements. But here's something concerning. There are reports that Nvidia is becoming increasingly insistent that media outlets push certain narratives when reporting on their hardware. This suggests the company is trying to control the conversation around their disappointing products, which raises questions about independence of future reviews. Even traditionally, NVIDIA friendly reviewers have struggled to recommend these cards enthusiastically, often suggesting buyers wait for AMD's response or consider previous generation options. The consensus is that unless you specifically need DLSS for features or AI capabilities, the RTX 50 series doesn't offer compelling value for pure gaming performance. So, is the RTX 50 series a disappointment? For gamers, it's an absolute disaster. We have underwhelming performance gains masked by AI generated frames, defective chips missing processing units, power connectors that can literally melt your system, artificial scarcity driving prices through the roof, and increasingly deceptive marketing practices. This isn't just about bad products, it's about a company that has become complacent with their market dominance. Nvidia is prioritizing AI data center profits over the gaming community that built their reputation. They are using ecosystem lock and trap customers into buying disappointing hardware at premium prices. The RTX 50 series represents everything wrong with the current GPU market: monopolistic behavior, safety concerns, and a complete disregard for value. Unless you absolutely need those AI features or you are trapped in the NVIDIA ecosystem, this is a generation to avoid entirely. For gamers, the message is clear: wait for AMD's response, consider previous generation options, or keep your current card until competition forces NVIDIA to actually innovate again instead of just inflating benchmarks with software tricks. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, keep those frame rates high and your temperatures low.